One of the most important aspects in regards to cow's milk allergy is when do you challenge a child? And I want to first just go back to the terminology challenge, because there are two principles here. Challenge implies to me that's supervised. Reintroduction applies to me that's done at home. And I think there are two things. So the first one is for IgE-mediated allergy. Your challenges are normally directed within the specialist or the allergist that sees them. So you would not generally just challenge them at any time. We'd be also thinking, has the wheal size come down? Have you got specific IgEs that have come down because of the potential risk? In non-IgE-mediated allergy, there are two aspects. There's the reintroduction to confirm your diagnosis, and then the second one is the reintroduction when you think a child is outgrown. Here we have consensus. It is not very well evidence-based. The consensus, we say 6 months normally after diagnosis, and generally around the year of 1 if they were diagnosed, for example, at 8 or 9 months. But what I normally would say, it's earlier rather than later. That's an important aspect in non-IgE-mediated allergy. And in non-IgE-mediated allergy, you have a ladder. The ladder approach has been looked at by many healthcare professionals. The principle as follows. You start with very well baked milk, where the baking process changes the allergenicity, makes it less allergenic. And then you move up the ladder, for example, to cheese, to yogurt, to milk. And the idea would be you start with the least allergenic from a milk perspective and you move them up. The process of moving them up, it depends on the child. I can't give you an exact timing because every child is very different. As a last point, I just want to touch on, do you use it in IgE-mediated allergy? So when we developed, and I'm one of the developers of the IMAP ladder, which is one of the most commonly used ladders, we did not have IgE-mediated allergy in mind. So I know that some centers use it for IgE-mediated allergy. From my perspective, you have to be very careful. If you do use it, you use it within a center where safety is established, and you really make sure within your team that you are not risking or taking excessive risk when you're using a ladder for an IgE-mediated child. You can use the milk ladder for any child with non-IgE-mediated allergy. The only exception is FPIES. For FPIES, we have not established the milk ladder and there's no research on FPIES. But for all other non-IgE-mediated allergic children, even if they've got comorbidities, the only important aspect, which is what you do for any challenge and reintroduction, is you would do it when a child is healthy. You may get accidental exposures, and accidental exposures, what are their age? If with an accidental exposure there are no reactions, then in an IgE-mediated child, I would refer them back to the doctor to get skin prick tested to kind of establish where they stand. With non-IgE-mediated, I would consider then doing the ladder with them. But you have to remember that a one-off accidental exposure does not mean they might tolerate it on a daily basis.